3 at least. Yeah.
All right, here we go, everybody. So welcome to Volume 3 of what we might still be calling Hurt Pressure, but we're not sure yet. As you can see, we have a new and much more beautiful face this week. Nick Jowers joins us, and we are so pleased to add him to the show. Nick, thanks for joining us.
Hey, I'm honored, guys. I've seen a few of the last episodes, and I guess the pilot was really what attracted me to this. Learned a lot, and I'm excited to be on, guys.
Appreciate it.
Great.
This week we I feel like we might have some, a little bit of. I feel like we've been agreeing a lot over the last few weeks. Not a lot of back and forth negativity. So this thing's a little bit more controversial, I feel like. So the top 5 worst animals. So many animals out in the world to choose from, but as an animal lover, I'm not gonna lie, it was not super easy to come up with my list except for my 1 and 2. But love to all the animals. If you guys start understanding us at some point and watching yourselves, Drew Brees is a big fan, so hop on board with him. But much respect to animals in general. So, but I'm going to kick it off, throw it over to Nick, and see what his number 5. And once again, if you're not familiar with the layout of the show, we go 5, 2, 1. Your number 1 being your worst animal in this case, and Nick's going to start off with number 5.
Yeah, thanks, Danny. I'd agree. Much all animals have something to provide, whether that just be someone else's food or something. But these are some pretty terrible animals coming up, at least on my list, I think. So for number 5, it's pretty terrible. It's not higher on my list only because it happens to be one of the oldest and most successful species in the entire animal kingdom. It's successful in terms of its survivability. There are over 10,000 subspecies of this thing, and I'm talking, of course, about sponges. They're the worst. Aside from existing, they do nothing. They have no mouth. They don't have a brain. They have no heart. They have no other organs, for that matter. They have no digestive systems, of course, no tissue at all. They capture food in the way that a bookshelf captures dust. They're not able to move. So it seems like they're a plant, which is why people think they're a plant. So I think they're the worst because they simply can't do a damn thing.
It's a good reason for being the worst, for sure.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with that. But the fact that they exist without all the things that you mentioned make them pretty cool. Like, they're still organisms, they're still doing shit without hearts, brains, limbs, movement, breathing, what the fuck are sponges, actually? I don't even know what the hell they are. What do they do?
They're eukaryotic organisms. They're not plants because they actually absorb organic matter, like organic carbon, rather than like carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
So it's like a technicality. They're basically a plant.
They're like a mushroom in the sea.
Sea mushroom.
Right. Sea mushroom. Interesting. Yeah. That's a horrible animal.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Ryan. What do you got for number 5 for you?
For number 5, I got to go with one of the most annoying animals of all time, and that being flies. More specifically, mosquitoes, but that's just a subset of the flies. There's over 3,500 different kind of flies. I mean, did we need more than one kind of fly? Did anyone request that? I mean, they're filthy, disease-carrying assholes, pretty much. They're annoying as shit. I mean, you can think of the countless products that man has made to get rid of mosquitoes and flies. I mean, how much of your hard-earned money is down the drain just to keep those things away from you? I mean, animals have evolved just to keep flies away. Donkey forces with their tails just to swat flies. They're so annoying that animals have to evolve to deal with them. Flies and mosquitoes suck.
Yeah, I think everyone hates flies, mosquitoes, although, they do have the amazing ability to replicate in every area that I spray for them, which to me is fucking amazing. Like, I will bombard my whole lawn with spray, and then the next day I go outside, drink coffee, and get bit 3 times by mosquitoes.
It loves that sweet blood, baby.
It's
I looked at it a little bit differently. I didn't really go with any insects on my list. I felt like insects were a little bit of a different category because I feel like I could have had just top 5 worst insects. Not a huge insect guy in general. I don't know many that are, but maybe they're out there. But yeah, I went a little bit of a different route. I can totally understand. They would definitely make a different list for me if I went with that. They are the worst. I will say that. Nick, you have any thoughts on mosquitoes or bugs or flies in general?
Flies, there was one cool thing I remember seeing in elementary school, and it was this old lady with a newspaper coming to get a fly. And it's like, from a fly's perspective, that old lady was super slow. So like they have that superpower of being real quick.
Yeah,
But
right.
they're terrible. That doesn't make up for much right there.
like Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, have you seen The Fly with Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, it was great.
It gave me nightmares. It was terrifying.
It's terrible.
No one wants to become a fly because of their work.
Disgusting.
Well,
It's terrible.
does anyone become Jeff Goldblum, though? That's the real.
A lot of people.
He's got his own show now.
Yeah. Ronnie, what you got at number 5, sir?
All right, number 5. I'm going to a more advanced animal, but I don't know if this is gonna be a popular take, but I hate birds. They're cool to look at.
All of them?
All birds. It's like, now, hang on a second. All birds suck. They all have diseases, tons of diseases. You can't touch them. You can't get near them.
You would agree with that.
They shit everywhere and on anything. They have absolutely complete disregard for every land creature that there is. They just shit on you, and they don't care because they're faster than you. They can fly away. And then thirdly, they're assholes. Like, I'm trying to sleep, man. It's 5:30 in the morning. This motherfucker is chirping away. Like, what do you have to sing about this early in the morning? You ain't doing shit. You ain't getting no female bird right now. She's sleeping. Everyone's sleeping, and you're out there chirping. That's bullshit. The only bird that's tolerable is a crow, because they're funny. Not a raven, though. They suck.
Whoa. Good thing James Dennison ain't on this call. I don't disagree totally with birds. I actually have a specific bird on my list, but I do appreciate some birds as well, especially bald eagle, of course. Can't ever discount a bald eagle, but I don't disagree in general. I'm not a huge, birds can sometimes get weird too and get like aggressive. So I'm not going to disagree. I went more specific with my hate of birds. So, Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, birds in general suck. They carry mites and disease and everything. There are some birds, I agree. It's a broad category, of course. I think purple martins are up there. They're one of the coolest animals, even. They like humans and stuff. In general, birds are pretty crappy, though. So good choice there.
Thanks, Nick.
Couldn't disagree more.
What?
How stupid it is just to go with birds in general. How many different types of birds are there?
What with flies in general? You throw mosquitoes in.
Name something besides a fly and mosquito.
A gnat?
Oh,
Keep Chip out of it.
Hope Chip's not watching this. Way to go. Our whole Howard County crew is off this now.
But I mean, penguins, ostriches, they're cool.
They suck.
Cardinals every day when I'm running because I'm down here in the boondocks of Virginia.
Penguins are you name 2 birds that can't even fly. That's all birds are supposed to do, fly. And you said that they're cool? They suck. They suck at being birds. That's how bad they are.
Nah, I disagree. They're pretty
Ronnie, chickens, though, man. What do you do without chicken?
I eat their babies. They're delicious.
Yeah, they are delicious.
What about you're loving that hummingbird in your backyard until you found out it wasn't a hummingbird.
Yeah, it wasn't a hummingbird.
Yeah, and you
Get
were
back to
loving
that. We'll get back to that in a little bit.
It was a bug. It was a mosquito. So my number 5 is a little bit personal. So the old brother might remember a little bit about this, but my number 5 are guinea pigs, man. You know what I mean? They're a little bit creepy. When you don't feed them for a week, they eat each other's brains. It's one of those things, bro, where anytime you see another animal eat another animal and then you have to release it into the street, I just feel like it never had a shot at making like another good impression on me. It was over. So guinea pigs, weird to me. They eat each other. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, even when you have cool names for them, they seem to always disappoint.
I mean, they're spare, like the saying, let's be a guinea pig. It's like that. Just go throw them to the wolves. Who cares about them? No one cares. So good choice.
And don't the males eat the babies after so they can reproduce again? I'm pretty sure they attack and eat their own babies, which is pretty messed up.
Sounds sketchy.
They taste good though, like in Ecuador and Peru and stuff like that. They actually they eat them, which I'm all for. I'm for eating any animal. But that's what they were for. They were food sources, and I guess someone thought they were cute. I think they're really weird looking. They look like a cross between a wiener dog and a rabbit.
Yeah, they're sketchy. I mean, if we had DJ on this week, he'd be able to confirm this for sure. But one of the more sketchy animals, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, what you got for number 4, sir?
All right. So I don't know if y'all have seen this new show, but I'll just get into the animal first. This animal has been all the rage ever since its recent inclusion on Absurd Planet, that smash Netflix documentary hit. So I'm talking, of course, about the pearlfish. This pearlfish is a parasite. Its claim to fame is basically where it resides, which is in the anal cavity of the sea cucumber, which also happens to be a terrible animal. These literal little shits they basically invade the sea cucumber's privacy, while the sea cucumber's minding its own business, and the pearlfish just live in there, and there can be a bunch of them, and they mate and stuff, and live in there. They feast on its gonads. Pretty messed up. So that's why it's the 4th worst worst animal in my opinion. Pretty terrible.
Anything in your anus is bad. So I'm with you.
I mean, don't know much about the animal, but when you bring up sea cucumber, it makes me think of sea dildo. And then when you talk about, these things going in the butthole, it makes me think that sea cucumber just became the pocket pussy for these animals to go inside, which is a weird combination. I understand, but that is since I don't know much about it, that's what I first connected to. So yeah, I wouldn't say that's a good visual to come into to think it's a good animal. So
yeah,
don't know much about it, but I'd have to agree.
I guess you could say he found his niche, which was a sea cucumber's anus. That's the only good thing you can say about him. And why'd they give him the name Pearl? Where's that? It should be the anus.
Because it's so tight. Pearl, baby. Makes a pearl.
Good.
Ryan, what you got for number 4, sir, after the pearl?
Probably going to be a 50-50 divide on this one for most fans out there. But I got to go with cats.
Ooh, yeah, definitely.
More specifically, house cats are the worst.
Yep.
I mean, house cats are just sadistic assholes. They are literally just waiting for their owners to die so they can eat their dead body. I mean, there's some of the only animals that play with their prey. I mean, I've seen house cats just have a mouse or a snake cornered and will just be swatting it around before they can, just torturing the thing. I mean, cats literally bite the hand that feeds them. I mean, they're just self-entitled assholes. They know they can do whatever they want, and the owners are still going to scoop up their shit.
Yep.
And have you ever asked a cat for a favor? Can't count on them for anything. And
They don't even care when you come home.
Exactly. And have you seen Tiger King? Those are the type of people who like cats. Don't be like anybody in that show.
There's a
There
couple
are tigers in this too?
Yeah, cats in general, but mainly house cats.
Okay.
Yeah, cats aren't bad in and of themselves, but whoever's idea was it to domesticate them had something wrong with them, I think. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. They almost made my top 5 as well.
Ronnie?
A lot of cat hate going on here. I famously had a cat, Miss Pretty Cat. Shout out, Miss Pretty Cat. Listen, you guys don't understand cats until you had a cat. Cats aren't meant to do anything. They're just there to be with you every once in a while. That's what's great about them. Listen, I just got a dog. Everything you described, picking up shit, you have to do it more with a dog. Getting bit happens a lot more with a dog. Do stuff. She ain't doing shit other than biting me and shitting right now.
Yeah, but you deserve it.
What? I don't
Cats,
deserve
you
it.
don't deserve it. They do that shit. With a dog, it's like you did something to deserve that shit.
No. And the dog, I gotta wake up in the morning. I gotta walk.
Exactly. He motivates you to be a better person.
Exercise them.
Dogs motivate you.
I gotta take him to a trainer. A cat, I just tell him to be a cat, and he's got it. He's down pat. Cats are cool. I'm tired of this cat slander.
Well, I'll get into cats further down the list, to be quite honest. So I'm not even going to get into it with you, but you can go ahead and hop on your number 4 with that attitude, sir.
All right. My number 4 is the clownfish. Now, the clownfish is whatever Finding Nemo was, right? Whatever Nemo was. They live in coral because they can't fend for themselves. So they live in coral because they're so scared and so weak of an animal that they have to use the defense of another animal. Other than that, they made a movie about one being lost and getting help all along the way. Clownfish doesn't even look like a clown. And the name is Clown. It is a clown. The clown of the animal kingdom. Because it can't even fend for itself. It's a piece of crap. It's a parasite, really. And I don't know why it's got all this publicity. I want everyone's kid to know, specifically, that I think Nemo's a jackass. And clownfish suck.
I stayed away from fish in my list as well. Insects and fish, I don't know, for some reason when I was starting to put this list together, I kind of separated them. And I did not include any. I don't also really feel like I have a super hate for any fish. I mean, maybe like a jellyfish because it feels like, oh, I'm going to sting your ass, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's also like, yo, well, then stay out of my water, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, back the fuck up because I belong here, not you, kind of thing. So, like, I didn't really feel, I don't have that much hate towards fish in general. So, clownfish, I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Nick, what you think?
I mean, all I really know about clownfish is other than people buy them at the store, which means someone likes them. But from the movie, the father, which was a clownfish, was terrible. That guy was just left and right. So
yeah, he was. Yeah. It's a great way to describe the dad, Nick. I will say is a great. That's just it. Yeah. Ryan,
I like clownfish.
Of course
you do. Nemo had a single father just trying to do his best in the world. Nemo had one tiny flipper. I mean, what are you going to do, man? He's trying to make his world in a big ocean out there, Fun
being a clown, that's what you got to do. Quit being a clown.
So I'll move on to my number 4, which is a parrot. So I'll just say it. A parrot for me, birds are weird when they are in captivity. Like I said, I'm not a big bird hater. I feel like some of them. Seagull was close to making the list because I feel like they're kind of like they shit a lot on people and just take shit. I mean, but the parrots, like it's like in a weird person's spot, like our house. it repeats things. Like, I'm like, yo, stop snitching. Like, what's the deal with this thing? And then it's like, I think somewhat aggressive too. I don't know. It feels like it can do whatever it wants. So parrot's my number 4. Just I got specific in the bird realm and went with parrot. So I apologize to any parrot lovers, but they're the worst.
Yeah. I had a teammate who had a parrot once, and his roommates couldn't stand this parrot because for multiple reasons. It would fly around and stuff, but within a couple weeks they all got bird flu. And there was this one tough guy in particular, Dan Melly, shout out if you're watching this. This guy got pretty sick over it, and after he came out of his quarantine or whatever, he was like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone in the world. So ever since, I've been like, yeah, parrots in particular are pretty awful.
And if we ever have to go into quarantine, we all know about it now. You know that shit's terrible. So
true.
If you had to go into an extra quarantine because of a parrot, yeah, fuck that thing.
Yeah. Also, they repeat everything you say, right?
Exactly. They're snitches, yo. They get
what asshole? Like,
yeah.
Why don't you come up with your own sentences and your own thoughts, parrot? Don't just repeat what I'm doing.
You know, there's no parrots in Baltimore City. They all got killed. Ryan, parrot.
Parrots are terrible. I mean, they're like an annoying 5-year-old kid that just keeps repeating what you're saying over and over again. I mean, fuck it.
They stink too.
They do.
They stink.
All right, all.
Pirates are stupid. I mean,
yeah. So we are all the way up to number 3 already. So Nick, what you got at number 3?
I think you're all going to agree on this one as well. It's just my number 3 is terrible. That it eats for 14 hours a day. It's the least horny creature on the planet, and of course, I'm talking about panda bears. The only reason they're not higher on the list is their entertainment value. They're clumsy and tumble around and look like a little toddler in a panda suit. That's their only redeeming value. They are endangered for a reason. They're a terrible animal.
They're not even worth that, and they don't even mean to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just an accident. They can't even get credit for that. I feel like they're terrible.
I mean, we're laughing at them, you know.
I think mine giant pandas. You're talking, right? I don't know much about the red panda, but
I don't know either. You're right, giant panda.
Yeah. Red and giant pandas aren't even the same species.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
They're like raccoons, kind of, the red ones. I saw a red one at the zoo. So the National Zoo has the regular pandas and the red pandas, right?
Yeah.
And I ain't never seen the regular pandas because people are always crowding it, but also they never show up. They're always hiding or some shit. The red panda's out there doing aerobatics and all this shit, and no one's around him. Why? He's cool. Like, he's jumping around. He escaped like twice, and he was walking around Woodley Park and shit.
That's right.
You know, giant panda do that. He can't escape.
See, when I went, you couldn't even see him because they were like, we're putting him on. He's not on an exhibit. It's like, yeah, because he was loose in the zoo, baby.
Yeah.
He's out there amongst the people.
They're like, why can't I see the giant panda? And they're like, oh, he's just sleeping, sir.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's sleeping.
The rough animal world.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, what you got for number 3?
So number 3, I got one that is definitely an overrated animal as well as being the worst. And that is, of course, dolphins. Dolphins are the worst. I was actually at the National Aquarium in Baltimore, and the trainer, I saw the dolphin show, stupid show, and then the trainer was like, hey, does anyone have any questions? And if anyone ever gives me the opportunity to ask a question, I'm going to ask a question. So I went up to her and I was like, hey, dolphins, they're overrated, right? And she would not let me leave for like 15 minutes telling me about how dolphins are overrated. She was like, yeah, they're just animals, stupid animals. Like, people think they're magic and stuff like that. So that's coming from an expert of dolphins telling me that they stink. I mean, also, anything like regarding entertainment around dolphins has also sucked. I mean, Echo the Dolphin was a terrible video game. Nearly destroyed Sega. I mean, Flipper was a terrible show. The Miami Dolphins are terrible.
It's true.
I mean, Dolphins make Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish cry, and he seems like a nice guy. They're the worst.
Yeah, the dolphins are. I'm on the fence about dolphins. On the one hand, there's that episode of King of the Hill where Hank Hill got molested by a dolphin, which was kind of cool. But dolphins in general, they're very smart. I don't know that there's another animal other than maybe orcas that are as smart as them in the sea, and you can train them to do stuff. So, any animal that you're able to do that. I think they used to use dolphins to seek out submarines and crap like that because they have the Echo radar. So I don't know. I don't know if they're overrated. I think they're kind of underrated, to be honest with you.
I think dolphins are kind of like the cats of the sea. I think they're super overrated. I'm not like a super hater on them, but I also feel like I'm like, oh well, it's a dolphin. You know what I mean? And I also feel like dolphin people are a lot like cat people, where they'll buy a lot of like keychains and stuff. It's like, I got a cat, motherfucker. I love dolphins. I bought a dolphin kind of stuff or whatever you're allowed to do now, and free it just like you're allowed to buy a cow or something from whatever. But I think that they're a kind of weird group in general, the dolphin lovers. But I agree. I think they're kind of overrated.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Marino might have won a Super Bowl if there are any decent Dolphins out there. So
True.
Right.
The only dolphin lover I love is Martin Scholes. It's the only dolphin lover I even care about. Ronnie, what you got for number 3?
All right, number 3 are pigs. Pigs in general. Everyone's like, oh, they're smart and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it lays in its own filth. It likes to roll around in mud. Even the pig we see today is a bastardized version of what it used to be back in the day. There weren't any pink pigs. There's usually just like a boar or something like that from Asia. And to be honest with you, this is gonna be an incorrect take, but I don't really like the flavor. I don't think it tastes that great. And pigs are filthy. They eat their own shit. They swim in it. And they bite. They bite. They're very vicious animals. People don't understand this. So
especially feral ones, especially.
Pigs look cute and cuddly, but they're assholes. I hate pigs.
they stink.
I'm going to disagree there. I thought about a pig for a hot second, then I was like, one, I do like the way that they taste in some. I don't love them. I don't love it all the time, but I do love some, like a good crispy bacon. But the other thing that I thought about, I was like, yeah, that whole weird thing about them and their own shit and stuff. But then I was like, kind of respect it a little bit. Like, they're just like, fuck it, yo. Like, fuck you. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? I'm just going to lay in this shit. It is what it is. If you want to hose me down, do it. Because I know y'all are going to eat me anyway. I mean, I thought it was a little bit gangster, so I didn't put them on my list. So I will disagree a little bit with the pig.
I mean, I've seen a lot of gangster movies and shows where the utility of a pig's high. You can toss a dead body in there and they'll just eat it up. So, I mean, for that reason, the utility and flavor, I like flavor. Italians love ham. Ham's where it's at. Johnny Lappin would disagree, but, that's that guy.
Oh, man.
No surprise here, another terrible pick by Ronnie Darr. Pigs are great. I mean, have you ever read Animal Farm? I mean, there are animals that were capable of running that farm and taking up the smartest animals around. Napoleon's always right. I mean, gotta love pigs.
Don't get me started.
So
it's just a book. It's a fake book. Like,
whoa!
You could have picked any animal.
Just a book.
Based on true events.
Look, what is this?
All right.
Are you trying to cut the arts programs too, Ronnie? Huh?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm going to go to my number 3, which is going to it was echo Mr. Jowers' number 3, the giant panda. And when I looked up giant panda on the internet, I want to read you the first thing that I found. In addition to eating for about half a day, the giant pandas spend the rest of their time in sleeping mode. That is terrible. Are you kidding me? Kill something. Do your bamboo, and you're only eating bamboo. At least like a lion in captivity, you throw it like a half a deer, and you're like, oh shit, did you hear that thing bite through the bone? It's eating bamboo. Like, bro, wake up and do something with your life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like almost like, I mean, I hope these, out there, I feel he's like Sloppy of the world, like the animal world, like, come on, bro, let me give you some motivation to get out there and do something. You know what I mean? Like, wake up, stop eating bamboo. Maybe that's the whole thing here. The bamboo might be the problem. So, Nick, I can't disagree. We talked a little bit already. We don't need to I don't want to harp too much on it because there's so many. They're another group that it's like they're the dolphins, they're the cat lovers. They have panda lovers and they put their stuff on their cars and stuff. I'm like, give me some more diversity. I feel like so.
Just misled people out there, you can't help them.
Yeah, Nick, what you got for number 2?
Oh man, number 2. Let's see. We touched on it a bit, maybe, but it's hard to imagine a worse animal than this one. It's the world's most deadly animal to humans, at least. It carelessly murders more than 1 million people every single year. Talking, of course, about the mosquito. Specifically the female Anopheles genus, because they're the ones that carry the malaria and the West Nile virus and the other viruses, a lot of other viruses. And they are simply the worst. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this before, but I in particular have hated mosquitoes because I've experienced some negative events in my own life about this. My wife and I, back in 2017, we were supposed to go to Missa and Yura's wedding, and it was in Caribbean island, and we couldn't go because of the threat of Zika because of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So they're the worst. Heard it was a fun wedding and totally missed out on it. They also kill like 1 child every 30 seconds, I read, which is, of course, worse than all the rest. So, this sucks.
Yeah, most Americans probably wouldn't care because it's probably not in America. But yeah, I mean, that statistic doesn't, it's crazy to think about. You know what I mean? And they are terrible. I mean, I remember Zika and some back then. That shit that's just gonna happen again too. It's wild as hell, man. They're worse.
Yeah, I mean, everyone hates mosquitoes. I hope no one actually likes them. You're right. Like what other animal causes travel restrictions? Like you were mentioning earlier, and they're so prevalent. They're everywhere. You can't avoid them. And you're having fun outside. The weather's great. All of a sudden, the mosquito comes and bites you, and you're itching yourself. Now you're miserable. What an asshole. Screw that mosquito.
Yeah. They live by draining you. I mean, they're like the Ronnie Dar.
And they make nets for people so they can and put them around their bed so they can sleep at night. I mean, it's insanity. All right, Ryan, what you got for number 2?
Number 2, another highly overrated animal. Now be horses. I mean, first off, why are we not eating horse meat? I mean, Canadians eat horse meat. That's probably why Canadians are better than Americans at everything.
What?
It's true. It's true. And then, prepare for this podcast, I actually got a subscription to Horsing Around Monthly. Did you know this? That in the average lifespan of a horse, they're directly responsible for the death of 34 humans. Your average serial killer, 4 humans.
Wait, what?
So your average horse kills 4 times or 8 times as many people as your average serial killer. I mean, that's bananas.
Of course, you'd want to eat horse. Chinese was on his cuisines list. That stuff I feel like it'll be all muscular and stuff, bro. I don't know about all that.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I think horses are kind of cool.
Now you get some good protein from them. I mean, any sports related to horses are terrible. I mean, polo is for rich, stupid assholes. Horse racing is stupid and boring. It's only an excuse to go get drunk, which you could literally do for any event ever, year round.
To me, this is an absolutely terrible pick. I mean, the horse, as we all know, a horse is a horse, of course. I couldn't say that if there were no horses. Second, literal empires were built off the backs of horses. The Mongols, where they had those short, stocky horses that were swift. Obviously, chariots were pulled by horses. Knights, you wouldn't have a knight. You just have a guy, slugging all this armor around.
Mongols got everywhere through elephants, not through horses. Don't you know anything about history?
I think you're thinking of someone else. That's Hannibal. Hannibal did that.
Look it up.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you're talking about horses being useless and eating them. Like, horses are glue, man. Without glue, I mean, how many things wouldn't be sticking on your wall right now if it wasn't for horses? Think about that.
I mean,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Danny.
No, Nick, go for it.
Ryan's talking about pigs and being awesome in Animal Farm. Where would those pigs be without Boxer carrying all those rocks down to make the windmill? Wow. I mean, without Boxer, without the horses, pigs are nothing. So, I feel like this is a contradiction, and I feel like your number 2 needs to be rethought.
I tend to trust Native Americans, and I feel like Native Americans also relied heavily on horses. And then I'm not from the West or anything, but I watched this show called Longmire recently. I feel like horses are used pretty, readily out there. These guys are riding them in the snow and shit. Like they're the original snowmobile and shit. Like these guys, I mean, they're doing whatever you tell them to do. It's like I don't know, like I disagree with the horse.
Horse is the original snowmobile. That's your catchphrase you're going for.
Hey dude, if they ever made a horse big enough for me to ride, your boy would be on a horse. I feel like I'm more gonna be on a horse than like a snowmobile, I feel like.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I rode on a horse in my wedding. That horse was
hell yeah, you rode on a horse.
Screw you, Ryan. And horses are great.
Exactly.
I almost forgot.
That horse is fantastic.
It'd be easier to argue it as a top 5 best animal than the worst.
Yeah. It's functional. It's smart. They whinny.
Yeah, they are, and I feel like they are like loyal. They're like almost like the dog of the wild, of those kind of the bigger animals. They're like, they're cool with you. You know what I mean? They'll come back. They'll let you ride them. They'll listen to you. I don't know, man. That's disrespectful.
Horse will
all right, I'm sorry, man. That's disrespectful. We're gonna have to move on. Ronnie, what you got for number 2?
Number 2, I got an animal that everyone loves for some reason, and no one can tell you why, and it's the koala bear. Much like the panda bear, it's such a stupid animal that it only eats eucalyptus leaves. They used to fall out of the goddamn trees and get hit by cars in Australia because they're so dumb. They scream. They're horrible. They scream. They always look like they're scared. People only like them because they look cute. Their claws, they claw the shit out of people. And now with all these wildfires in Australia, they're dying because they're too stupid to get away from the fires.
Well, that's harsh, man. I feel like it's too soon. A little bit, man. I'm saying.
Survival of the fittest. It ain't a fit animal.
They're screaming because they're on fire, playa. You know what I'm saying? Like their habitat is being burnt down. And most likely it was because an American tourist threw a lit cigarette into the wildlife area at the zoo is how the whole fire. That's what everyone's saying. So
Sorry, James.
Koalas are tough. I mean, I felt kind of similar. Like maybe, I put them on there because I feel like they're somewhat like a panda, but then I was like, man, it's way too soon. Koalas are taking a really big hit in 2019 and 2020 in general. putting them on the worst animals list is just feel like a little tacky. What you think, Nick?
I mean, they evolved a pouch to put their young in. That's pretty damn cool. I mean, marsupials in general are pretty cool, but I mean, I can't deny it's pretty boring animal, definitely overrated, but I don't know about one of the worst.
I'm with you, Ronnie. Their babies eat their mother's poop. I mean, what is cute about that? There's nothing cute about that, painted bears.
Human centipede style.
Koala centipede.
All right, I'll move on to my number 2. My number 2 is cats. All right, house cats are the worst. All right, assholes think they can do whatever they want. Okay, they just poop inside all the time in a little box, and I mean, dude, they like claw you, and I'm allergic to them. Anything that's like, yo, I'm gonna make your ass allergic to me. And then when I go around them, they're like, yeah, I know you're allergic to me. I'm going to spend all this time rubbing up on your shit. You're going to get really sick. Cats are the worst. House cats in general. But, I mean, big cats, I feel like people shouldn't have put them inside like Nick said. I'm not as hateful on the big cat as I am a house cat, but yeah, house cats. Sorry, I know we already brought it up, but number 2 on my list.
It's a good pick.
All right, number 1, Nick, what you got?
All right, I may get some hate mail from the Kiwis out there, if anyone in New Zealand's listening, but the horrible kakapo bird. This thing is so stupid. It's so ugly. It's a flightless parrot. I know we touched on parrots earlier, but this one weighs on average 6 to 7 pounds. They can't fly. I think I already said that, but they're so stupid. Not only do they not know how to fly, like they forgot at some point in their evolution, but they forgot that they forgot. So like they'll get scared, climb up a tree, and then like jump out and just, I don't know. It's like, imagine Ryan pushing a penguin out of a tree. It's not a graceful landing. So
terrible.
These things, and not only that, they mate. They're ground dwelling. So when they mate, their mating call is called a boom, and so they just make this like deep sound, which not only is terrible at attracting females, but it attracts predators because they're stupid. So it's like no wonder they're left for dead, right, Ronnie? Booming. Anyway, they can live up to be 90 years old somehow, which kind of upsets me, because how could existence be wasted on such an utterly worthless animal?
Because they're not flying, baby. They're not taking risks.
I guess so, but they're just sitting there. I don't know. I think they're just too big for some of the predators, maybe.
And they probably repeat what the predators say, and the predators stay away because of that shit. The worst. Sound like the worst to me.
Things ugly. Maybe I can
Any
share.
thoughts, Ryan?
I'm not too familiar with that certain bird, but they sound stupid to me.
I agree with Nick. This is a terrible bird. I mean, why does it even exist? Think about it. There's no point. It just found an area where it could exist, and it just exists. Like, there's no point for it. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help anything. It's just there.
I'm gonna try to share something. Tell me if this works. Can you see it?
Oh man, that bird's cool.
That's it. It's pretty ugly.
They do a cool dance though, don't they? Or is that Birds of Paradise?
I don't know.
No wonder if they never made it off Australia.
Yeah.
That's why they're not anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, man. New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand. Even worse, even a smaller place, if I'm correct.
Watch it. Hate
Maybe
mail.
get off of that tiny place.
Better than Old Zealand.
For some reason, they love them down there, though. Like, they are all about them. These things are almost extinct, and they want to keep them alive. God knows why.
I'm not if I'm not mistaken, there are no airports on New Zealand, so you can't even get in and out of there. So that's probably why. Ryan, what you got for number one?
All right. So might get some hate mail on this one, but I gotta go with human beings.
No hate from me, Blair.
Worst animals alive. I mean, we've taken an entire planet and fucking destroyed it. I mean, like, we're just the worst overall. I mean, humans are the only species of animal that I've actually made an enemy with. Except for this possum.
That's next day.
But that was back in 2005, and we're cool now. Forget that. But I mean, let's go through the list. Adolf Hitler. Carrot Top. Daryl Green. All human beings, all the worst.
It's true.
If I gotta listen to a fucking Odell song one more time because of stupid humans, I'm gonna lose it. Humans suck.
And what's in common with 75% of those people you just named? They're white. I feel like white people in general, maybe it's because I deal with them, so I'll be getting hate mail too. I feel like, but I deal with them on a more of a regular basis, especially with the COVID going on. There's been so many Karens and Chads out there just expecting everyone to just listen to what they have to say and, hey, I'm an expert all of a sudden on an infectious disease. Like, who are these people? Like, chill the fuck out, bruh. I'm not. I mean, to be honest with you, I can't hate on that. I mean, I feel like that's a good one. Yeah, you're right. I mean, in general, like, who else do you have grudges against or start, really, unless you're like a deer hunter, I feel like there's not a lot of other people that have grudges against animals.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with humans, although I could vouch for some humans. Especially the human beings on this podcast. I enjoy you guys, but humans in general, it's funny. Like, we'll kill each other for no reason, for absolutely no reason other than imaginary lines we draw in the sand, or made up ideologies that don't really help anyone or anything other than political or power gain. And humans have the most impressive trait of any animal, which is the human brain, and all we use it to, it seems, is to destroy. So yeah, humans do suck.
Yeah, I might have missed a few things there, but I totally agree. It was almost on my top too, but the problem with that is you could probably put us as probably some of the best animals too, which was
So it's a love
for a lot of reasons. We're really good at a lot of things, but man, we are just terrible for aforementioned reasons.
Yeah, it's a love and hate kind of thing. I feel like in general with humans, there's a lot of good that can come out of humans and exciting things, but then you see like the worst of the worst, and you're like, seriously, like, you know what I mean? So, like, what other animals do that? You know what I mean? What other animals like destroy the earth? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's tough when I get that one though. So, Ronnie, what you got for your number one?
All right, my number one was alluded to earlier when I mentioned birds by Ryan, but it's actually not a bird, I found out. It is a hummingbird hawk moth. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what the hell is that? That's exactly what I thought. I have all these plants outside my house, like bee balm and a lot of nectar-producing flowers, and one day this hummingbird showed up, was chilling outside, hanging around me. I was taking these videos. I named him Humberto because it sounds like hummingbird, kind of. So Humberto is coming by. We were boys, man. We were chilling. We were having fun. Yeah, I was like, man, like hummingbirds, this is cool. And then I posted a video on Facebook, and I forget who it was. I think it was Arian, but he goes to me, I don't think that's a hummingbird. And I'm like, yeah, right. Of course it's a hummingbird. It's a hummingbird with horns. Let me Google hummingbird with horns. Oh no, it's an imposter. It's a goddamn moth. No one likes moths. Moths suck. They eat your clothes. They're always around at night. They go straight to lights. I know Chip loves moths, but they go straight to lights for no reason. Like, you're a nocturnal animal. Why are you going straight to lights? Why don't you just wake up during the day, you piece of shit? I hate moths. I hate the hummingbird moth because he's an imposter and made me believe that he was a hummingbird and call him Humberto without telling me. So screw hummingbird hawks, hawk moths, or whatever the hell they're called.
That seems super personal.
It is.
I don't, I apologize in advance. I didn't, I don't know much about this situation, but it feels like it really hit you personally.
It did.
As a friend, as we were just talking about, I feel like, just from the passionate speech I just heard, I mean, he might make one of that list in the future here because how terrible he treated you. I apologize that I didn't put him on my that I didn't put on my list. If I would have known how passionate you were about it, I apologize, Ronnie. Sorry.
Thank you, Danny.
I feel for you, Ronnie. I mean, have you ever been sitting there eating a cheeseburger and enjoying it, and then you look down and realize that it's a zucchini? I mean, no one wants that. It's the same thing that you just went through.
Exactly.
I mean, taking a big bite of a zucchini when you think it's a cheeseburger. So I'm with you. I hate imposters. They're the worst. I don't believe that you don't like moths, though, Mothar, but, it's another story.
I'm trying to put some cover down so no one knows.
Nick, any comments on?
Yeah, he used the word imposter one too many times there. The Mothtar thing checks out. I'm not sure I believe his story. I'm looking at a picture of it right now. It looks pretty cool. Can't be that bad. I mean, if it acts like a hummingbird, that's pretty cool. So way to go, moth. But like Danny said, that's personal. I'm not gonna hate on your opinion. But again, I don't know if I believe it because I've seen another different picture of a different kind of moth, and let's suffice to say, it looked like it had a beard that resembled yours.
It was a full moon, Nick. It was a full moon.
So, I guess I move to me, right? For number one, we're on the last one before we get to the ethical question, right, of the day. I don't want to forget. We forgot that last week. I don't think it was any of our faults. I think it was because DJ was on. He somehow finagled us not to be able to talk about an ethical question. Nick, I'm sorry. If you don't want to be involved, you don't have to. But we go through an ethical question every week at the end of the show. So my number one is going to be controversial. I know that in particular Drew Brees is a fan. And I apologize once again. I guess if there's any way for him to unfollow us more than once, he's going to do it. My number one is cats. Cats suck. They're my number one and number two. House cats are the worst. Okay? Stop trying to kill me. Every time I come around one of you and I sneeze and my eyes get all red and it looks like I'm high. Okay? It's not cool, man. Stop it, cats. All of y'all. All right? I'm not even letting any of y'all respond. I don't care. If you like any cats, I want to hear it. Put your computer close to a cat and tell them to leave me alone. All right?
Slander. Cat slander. We should just call this episode Cat Slander.
Cats. Ugh.
Terrible.
All right. So I'm sorry that I was so passionate there. It's just, ugh. God, they just make me mad. What do you got, Ronnie? What do you got for us?
All right, today's ethical question. The old adage, stealing candy from a baby, is very negative. But is it really? Ryan, what are your thoughts?
I think candy is actually more delicious if you steal it from a baby. So I try to get all my candies freshly stolen from a baby.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Danny.
I mean, what is up with the babies having candy? What parents are giving the babies candy in the first place? What do we clarify? What is a baby? What's the age limit? Because, if they don't got teeth, I mean, what are they doing with candy? If they do have teeth, they shouldn't be having much of that stuff. I mean, none of us should be, but I mean, if you're going to steal candy from anybody, I feel like it's more appropriate to steal from babies than from anybody. So, I mean, it might not be the most moral thing in the world, but I feel like for the benefit of the baby and yourself, it's not, so white, it's one of the white moral things you have, the white lies or whatever you want to call it, I guess.
All right, Nick, you're up.
Well, yeah, the phrase itself is like, oh, that's going to be so easy, isn't it? Ha ha ha. And it's yeah, I don't know. There's something wrong with that when you start to realize all they're talking about is taking candy from a useless baby, unless we're not talking about candy like Danny said. And define candy, define baby. Maybe there's more to this. Might have to look into this a little more.
Listen, the answer is absolutely. It is okay to steal candy from babies. Not only that, but it should be completely encouraged. Candy can lead to a malady or just a bunch of maladies early on in a child's age. All that sugar, rotting their teeth. Sugar is more addictive than crack cocaine.
Candy.
Little known fact. Try getting off sugar completely for a week and you'll go nuts, I promise you.
Yeah.
And lastly, if you think about it, who is more perfect to steal something from than someone that won't even remember 5 minutes later? It's a baby. Baby won't get mad 5 minutes later because it forgot it even had candy. So the perfect thing to ever steal anything from is a baby, including candy, which it shouldn't have in the first place.
So I thought of a second ethical question because we missed it last week. So I'd love to throw it out there if you guys are okay with me throwing one in there. How do you feel about businesses asking for the rest of your change or a donation at the end of a purchase when you're, like, let's say you're at the grocery store and says, do you want to donate to this foundation? And do you think it's okay for them to do that? Do you do it? Now they're doing it on Grubhub where it's like, donate the rest of your change to feed America or the kids. I personally don't know where this money is going to, but I do feel guilty not participating a little bit in these things and feel like I have to contribute. But is that the place of these businesses to be getting involved with that, and where does the money go is my question. Anybody?
Comment.
Please.
I completely agree with you. It's completely asinine for companies to ask you for that. And I'll tell you why. Not because the charities are asinine. There's some great charities, right? First off, they're guilting you into doing it at that time because the cashier is like, oh, would you like to donate to kids dying from all these horrible things? Of course you want to, right?
Is that Batman? Hold on a second.
Batman.
Dude, holy shit.
Batman.
The third episode, we got Batman. This is
stealing and giving
special episode, and right at the end too. It's almost. Sorry, Ronnie. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Batman. It was Batman. Am I supposed to not say anything?
The other aspect of this is the financial thing, right? So this is what's actually happening. They're taking your money as payment, right? So if you bought something for $5.75, they say round it up. They're taking it as a $6 payment. On the receipt, it says $6. It doesn't mention like what you just purchased for that 25 cents. So to them, it's revenue. And what they do is that they actually end up donating all that money they collected, but they write off their taxes with it. Right. So they get a tax write-off.
Right.
That's the only reason they do it. It's because they make money off of it. Because they're pieces of shit. So if you ever want to donate to a charity, do it directly.
Yeah, there's a lot better things my money can be going to than some charity that I know nothing about. I mean, I'd rather walk up to Nick and give him 25 cents than give some charity. I don't know where that money's going. I mean, this is just a thing to not buy into social pressure and stuff like that. Do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, don't start on that shit. I mean, a lot of this stuff, pressure to do stuff, irritates me as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a completely different subject, but I hate tipping as well. I think tipping is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Charge me 20% more off the cuff, so I know what I got to pay, and I don't feel guilty to give this guy money because you're not paying him enough to work there.
Yeah, or don't expect them, or don't expect to get it. I mean, like if you want to give it, that's great. But yeah, I understand what you're saying with that.
I mean, so many other countries don't have tipping, and it's great. It doesn't make the end of the meal awkward as shit. Like, am I giving this guy enough money or this woman enough money? Because their employer will not pay them enough. Just charge me more so I know what it is up front. Don't try to sneak in these after, after purchase charges. Hate it.
You're muted, Nick.
Would you say that grinds your gears, Ryan?
Hate it.
Yeah, I think it's opportunistic to be asking that, and to be asking the cashier whose job it is to bag the groceries to become salesman all of a sudden, and be the talking or the face-to-face employee for your nonprofit or whatever it is. And no one's going to be asking, oh, where's this money going to at the register? So it's just opportunistic. I think it's some bullshit. And yeah, like Ronnie said, donate. Do your research on where you donate and who to, not donating dimes because it gets you out of the social pressure.
Yeah, I mean, and like I mean, anyone can chime in after this if they want, but I think my thing with it is it's like you're giving money to them, and then all of a sudden, like Harris Teeter or Grubhub or whoever it is going to be like, they're going to write a check and be like, Grubhub donates $10,000, but it's like they didn't donate shit. Like that was all money from the people that shop at their place. In my opinion, I would rather save up all that 20 cents or dollars, take a $20 bill and give it to like a homeless person on the and people might think I'm crazy because it's like, well, they're going to go get alcohol or drugs. If it makes them get through the day, I feel better about that than I do feel about like making Grubhub or Harris Teeter look better. If you really want to be that the people that like donate to the like charities, donate your own money. Donate the money that I'm part of the money that I'm paying for my stuff. You know what I mean, to the charity. That's just my take on it. You know what I mean? Like, stop trying to guilt people after they just made a purchase in your store or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's out of control with that stuff in general. Like, and I'm not saying don't give back because I try to give back as much as I can. But, like Nick, like Ronnie, I think like the sentiments, like, make sure you're doing it as much as possible in a responsible way. Don't feel guilted because you didn't give 25 cents at the end of the purchase is my thing. Appreciate you guys coming on. Nick, great. You're amazing. I appreciate you coming on in such short notice, providing so much to us. If you'll come back, we would definitely love to have you back. And guys, I appreciate you coming on. My